All right. This one's definitely going in the Confused Ramblings playlist. Where did my food go? All right, I'll turn it down for a little bit, just so that it looks, I look less insane. Although it's probably a hopeless endeavor. So, a lot of different thoughts going through my head right about now. Too many to decide to pick one. Too many to choose a path, you know? Um, Hopefully some dark chocolate will help me feel less anxious. So, for starters, I do feel bad about yelling at Mo like that. And I've known Mo for like 4 years now. And I've come to realize a while ago that he really doesn't understand what he's doing that is bothering people. He really doesn't understand to the point where you can't blame him. Like, you honestly cannot blame him because he really doesn't know. And so I knew that. And so I can't then go and yell at him for being the way he is because I know that that's the way he is. And you know, but at the end of the day, the arrangement is like, I'm willing to have you guys here as long as you're helping my business. Not even a lot, just on net. Just the net amount of help has to be slightly positive. That's all. And they were helping. I really do feel they were helping. And it's too bad if Ali and I had more days, just more steady days, consistent sequential days of making phone calls and finding prospects and talking about prospects, then uh probably we could have gotten somewhere with that. But all three of us are pretty unstable people. So it's very unlikely that we're ever going to get into a consistent pattern of doing anything. Uh, so yeah, so part of it is like I'm just happy that at least I can do my own thing now. At least I can focus on whatever I need to focus on without constantly having to haggle and negotiate with them and then trying to get my stuff done. That is good. And as much as I thought, Ali and I were making progress and Mo and I were making progress, like it was going to be a long time before they really were able to be helping me. Um and I don't know that we ever would have got to that point because I think at some point they would just quit because they didn't really give a shit about it, you know. But and I felt the same. I felt like it was a little bit of a Eric and Henrik when I played poker in Macau, or the first time I hung out with Mo a lot, Mo and Obzi scenario where it's like for like with Eric and Henrik, it was like I was like Eric's cheerleader in his poker, and he'd tell me about his poker, and as long as that dynamic was going on, he was but when I tried to like focus on my own poker rather than being his cheerleader, then immediately that went sour. And then I buddied up with Henrik. That was like same thing with Obzi. Like I was like really supporting Obzi, and then when I like was like, okay, there's only so many hours a week that I can dedicate to supporting your comedy, or I want to do my own comedy or whatever. Then it was like Obzi's like temperamental, and then he got angry, and then I buddied up with Mo. This time it was more like with Mo, and then like supporting Mo and his comedy. As long as I was supporting him and his comedy, then he was happy and he was willing to help me. But once I was like, no, look, I'm like trying to focus on my business and I want you to help me, even though I'm not going to go to all of your comedy shows with you. And I'm not going to listen to every single thing you say and every TikTok you want to show me and all that. Like, so then he was like, oh, well, it seemed like that soured things. But I mean, I don't know. I feel bad. I feel bad because I like those guys. I love those guys. I really want those guys to be okay. They probably hate me. They're probably gonna hate me forever, like so many other people that have had the misfortune of crossing paths with me. But I don't hate them at all. It's just the bottom line is like I need you guys to be helping me with my business, and you're actually making it harder for me rather than helping me. And every time I try to get you on the same page, it ends up just taking up a lot of my time and energy and causing a lot of stress, and then I don't get anything out of it really. So, the initial instinctual reaction I have, fucking hell, oh my god, that sprayed everywhere. That's terrible. It's like, okay, I need to like immediately get things going, like, because the thing about selling to restaurants or even comedy clubs is that they are the end client, so I can ask them for money directly. But what I was doing before was going through SEO companies, and while it's not impossible that they will pay me, that wasn't the plan. The plan is to set up a partnership with them. So even though there's probably opportunities to just ask them for money for directly for things. It's like, uh, it just seems like disingenuous to try to engage with them on a partnership basis and then suddenly try to sell them something. Um, but anyways, yeah. So the thing is, it's like, okay, I need to like, you want to pick up where you left off, just like go, 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 go. And it's like, that's not possible. I have to now retool and reorient. And what retooling and reorienting even means, uh, is a difficult question. Like, do I try to get hyper focused on generative engine optimization again? Go through all these videos that I've been storing up, go through all these articles I've been storing up and catch up on them? Do I try to code something? I still haven't used multi-curl. I still really keep on having these sort of like an image in my head of like of the response being like the assistant response, which is probably from the knowledge bot, and then something from a page, and then something from the blog feed. So like assistant page, assistant browser, no way, knowledge bot, browser bot, blog bot, like boom, 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 all in one response. Each response is a three-part response with that going on. And then it's sort of like, oh, maybe I should just like kind of try to have fun with it because even though it's like go for the money, go for the money, go for the money, but it's like whenever I'm having fun with it, uh, I find more opportunities, new. And then there's like, maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should give up. And I don't have a problem with that idea, honestly, but I don't know that there is an easy way to quit or give up. And I don't actually even think that getting a job is more faster or more likely to succeed than getting a client. Like it's not like there's a amazing job offer that I'm just refusing to accept because I am insisting on starting my own business. That's not what's going on here. But yeah, I definitely feel like a total failure and a total idiot at this moment. But at the same time, like every time something bad happens, I almost think it's like I'm almost happy about it because some part of my brain is like, yeah, like when I look back on how all of these things that I went through to finally like start my business and it's successful now, it's like not only will I feel like I earned it, but I have it all documented and I can look back and see how shitty things really were. And like the worse it is, the better the payoff is ultimately going to be. And another option is keep trying to do what I was doing with them, but just do it solo. Keep calling restaurants, keep making I did the thing is, I guess what I wanna say is that I don't regret that, and I don't regret working at the restaurant as a dishwasher. Um, Even though in both cases it went terribly bad and all of the sort of time and energy and money that I invested into getting that situation set up, um, was a loss. Um, and in both cases, it was a very similar situation where I was very like ambivalent about at my core, I was very ambivalent about the fundamental scenario, and therefore these little conflicts would escalate, and I wouldn't back down because at the end of the day, if things go bad and I got fired or these guys stopped working with me, like I was at least okay. I was willing to accept that possibility because I wasn't 100% sure that it was even a good idea to begin with. But yeah, I've always had the ability to super hyper focus on things for months at a time. Um, but these little transition periods are rough because in order to hyper focus, it takes, you can't force it. I have to find my hyper focus. I'm cold. Um, and one thought that I had a minute ago was I should just make demos. Because somehow, for some reason, I always come back to just make more demos. The answer is always make more demos. Maybe that is the answer here. And it's never been the answer before, but it always pushes me forward. Forward towards what? I don't know. Maybe nothing. But obviously, there's the ever present, like, just focus on what is your clearest path to money. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to potentially work on here, but it just kind of seems like forced, I guess. to go back to what I was doing before with the SEO companies and GEO, and it's like, I don't know, the moment has passed. I need to find a new entry point to focus. But before, I don't know, it was so exciting having like all of these. Let me do this. And now, uh, I don't know what to say about anything. I should probably eat. Try to calm my nerves. I don't know. It all seems quite hopeless. Whatever, I will eat and see if that makes me feel any better. I don't know. This whole thing, I was like thinking about what I wanted to say on live stream for the whole time I was out walking, buying food and stuff. And then I come back here and I'm just like, feels very, feel very anxious. And I definitely just need some fucking sleep. What is this? Nothing. I definitely need to sleep. But maybe I'll look through my Google saved items. That's a good idea. Ugh. Where is reading mode? So a couple things I wanted to say here. First of all, I feel like I should reach out to those guys, just be like, I'm sorry, I lost my shit. I'm so sorry, blah blah. But at the same time, I know that it's like I'm gonna try to say like, well, I'm like under a lot of pressure. I'm trying to start this business, and then I'll just go on and on about how difficult it is to start a business and how they should like have some understanding of that or some like tolerance of how that is. Um, but that's exactly what happened with my daughter. And she just like, no, this is why I didn't want to stay with you, is because all you talk about is how difficult it is to start a business and how it's my job to like uh, enable you to do that. And I feel like it'd be the same exact thing with them. And it's like, no, that was the whole crux of the conflict from the beginning, was that they uh, don't know or care to know, my thoughts and how I'm trying to attempt to start this business. That's one thing that I wanted to say. The second thing I want to say is this article is actually doing it for me. This is great. This is amazing. Maybe my period of hyper focusing on generative engine optimization is not over, and it can be revived, and it can push me forward at least to a new thing. Because it's talking about these graphs, and it's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I do. I scrape websites and I turn them into graphs. That's what I've been doing. So if you're telling me that graphs are really important, then you're telling me that what I'm doing is important work. That's what you're saying. So that's awesome. Right, but I did want to check out this Google Cloud NLP. Why is it not copying and pasting properly? Okay, well, I'll just type it in. That is so wild that if I search for Google Cloud NLP, a whole bunch of stuff comes up before the Google Cloud. Like, Google needs to work on its SEO. Looks like it is a paid thing. WordLift's entity extraction tool. Let's take a look at that. About all right, I'm going to go ahead and save this to my saved items. That is not going to be a good sound.
let's continue. Well, I just want to say a ready to go plan. For some reason, that heading always made me think this was written by AI for sure. Which is kind of weird because it's like, wait a minute. So then is all of this stuff that it's talking about, it's all like, is it already eating itself? Or all of the things that it's like all these conclusions it's drawing are from other AI outputs? And maybe none of this is necessary or helpful at all. I don't know. Um, didn't realize I wasn't even plugged
So that is something I can do. This is like a tool that I can build, integrating entity recognition directly into your content workflow. In fact, what I've done recently with the restaurants, because so many restaurants don't have WordPress, then I wanted to make a browser bot. So now I made a browser bot, but the browser bot is not based on their WordPress pages. It's based on a JSON LD object of their website. So that's kind of I'm building those objects, which is, I assume, how entity recognition would also work. How come I can't pause this? Oh, what was that? I missed something. Check how many of your priority entities have comprehensive coverage and accurate schema. Monitor your citation rate, how often AI generated summary, knowledge panels, and voice assistants reference your content. Evaluate your semantic authority. I'm just wondering why it says it's better than spending another year optimizing for a paradigm that's already over. What paradigm are they referring to? I think they might be referring to just the outdated method of SEO.
That is not helping.
Okay, I think we got that article done. Let's see what else we got. Let's look about reviews. I really don't know about whether or not the reading is being picked up by the live stream, and if so, whether or not it also shows the panel or not. Let me find out. Forced, I guess. I don't think it is. So this is just gonna seem like I'm just looking at these articles without even really reading them for a very long period of time. That's what it's gonna end up coming out like, which is too bad. Because when I go back and watch this, I wouldn't mind having a review of the article.